We are recording. Count me in.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 1080C Podcast, Episode 3, back from spring break. I'm your host, Ben Abrahamian. Joining me this week is Ethan Lamb.
Hey.
Scott Varn.
What's up?
And Zack Spencer.
How's it Gucci?
Oh, boy.
How's it Gucci?
So if you don't know, this is the podcast where we talk about movie news, entertainment news, television news, and basically whatever we find interesting in the entertainment world. You've probably already found us on the Student Gamecock Television YouTube channel. So if you like it, share it with your friends, all that jazz, like and subscribe, whatever.
You like jazz?
You like jazz. So yeah, we took a break for spring break at USC, and now we're back. And in our absence, a whole lot of trailers have come out. But before we get into that, Zack, what was the last movie you watched?
Wow, it might have been Thor Ragnarok, but I watched it really late. I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen a movie since then?
I don't know if I have.
Really? That was
I've
a month ago.
I've been so busy, dude.
That was a while ago. Because I watched it with him. Because I showed it to him. Cause
actually, you know what? I finally watched Coco.
Oh, really? Give us a quick rundown of your thoughts on Coco.
I had my standards set at the lowest possible point they could be, and they beat that. So it's better than the lowest possible standards that they could be set for.
You had the lowest possible standards for a Disney movie?
For Coco.
Why? Just because Ethan had talked about it so
Just
much?
because Ethan had talked about it so much. Also, I don't really like musicals, but I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't say it's any of the best work, but if you got kids, it's not miserable to sit through.
It's all right. That's good. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna say those little things at the beginning of the podcast now, just so we can get a peek into everyone's lives and also relate it to movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so trailers.
We don't all get to talk about last movies?
I know,
if you want to, Scott.
Okay, I do. Okay, so the last movie I saw, I actually watched it last night at midnight. It's called Dead Man.
Okay.
And it is a Western directed by Jim Jarmusch, I think is how you say it.
It's the 1995, not
came
the
out in
2017.
came out in 1995, and it is Johnny Depp and Billy Bob Thornton, and Iggy Pop is in it. It's a really weird cast. The director describes it as a psychedelic Western, and I watched it last night, and it is in my top 25 movies now.
Wow.
It was so good. I don't want to talk about it too much. Basically, Johnny Depp plays a guy who moves out west from Ohio, and then he ends up getting shot. This is early in the movie. He gets shot, and then he meets this Native American guy who kind of is guiding him through the last few days of his life, as he slowly dies from this bullet. It's very weird, and the entire soundtrack was the director gave the movie a cut of the movie to Neil Young. Said, hey, can you make a soundtrack for this movie? And he watched it and he loved it. So what he did was he watched the movie a couple more times and then just improvised on his guitar over it as he watched it. That's the entire soundtrack of the movie, and it is it is awesome. You definitely should check out Dead Man if you like any sort of Western, if you like Johnny Depp, if you like weird 90s movies. Yeah, definitely.
Just from the description, psychedelic Western, I'm hooked already.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely exploring humanity and how the West could change a person.
It's deeper than just a Western movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily deeper, but it's very much a surreal kind of movie. It's really good.
Which the Western genre is pretty clear cut most of the time.
Yeah.
What was the last movie you watched?
So over spring break, me and my 9-year-old little brother, who's the most adorable person in the world, by the way, we both watched Black Panther, and it's actually the second time I went to see Black Panther in movies. In theaters, and it was absolutely amazing to watch it with my little brother, to see him watch all the action scenes with each other, and it was pretty dope. And I got to talk about a lot of important topics that was covered in Black Panther, and I was trying to do it in the best way possible that was relating to the movie, and I was trying to explain to him certain concepts and certain themes of the movie in a way that a 9-year-old can understand, which isn't really he was very mature about it, and it was really dope that he enjoyed it and he also understood the message.
Nice. Yeah, it's good that movies like that are so accessible to young people that like.
Oh
I
yeah.
bet it's really awesome to be like a 9-year-old kid right now.
Oh yeah, he
Four
was
superhero movies coming out every year. I bet it's
no,
cool.
he was absolutely enjoying it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like me and him, we just snuck in snacks in the theaters. We just watched it. It was just like a really fun time where we just had like the whole afternoon with each other, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I always tell my mom like I was born in the wrong time. Like if I was born 10 years later with like new Star Wars, awesome Marvel movies, like I always like whenever I go through Target, I always just kind of like linger in like the toy
See
section.
all the toys, like,
Yeah.
what could have been?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I paid $30 because it was at an IMAX because I tried to do it in regular theater and whatnot, but like I came there too late, but they said, oh, we have one for 3D, and which watching Black Panther in 3D kind of took away from the experience. But I still enjoyed it though, and my little brother, he definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, even though it was like $30 just to get just for us two, it was absolutely worth it just to be like with each other. And I hope that like he still remembers it as he grows older.
Yeah. I guess I'll say the last movie I watched. Technically, it was Bone Tomahawk.
We
Which
were just talking about that. We
Yeah.
watched some scenes from it.
which is a great movie that you should go see, but a lot of people have already talked about that, so I want to talk about a movie that I watched before that, which is Wind River.
I heard that was good.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, it's got Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen from The Avengers. Basically it's like a murder mystery in like this small Wyoming like Indian reservation, Native American reservation. And it's just really like the writing is just so superb and the acting is so superb on so many levels. Like I don't want to spoil it because I went in with nothing. Like I had no idea about the movie. It's all on Netflix or all on Netflix. It is on Netflix. So if you have time, definitely go watch it. And like the reveal at the end is really well done, really cool. Okay, so let's get into trailers. So the first trailer, I guess we can talk about that everyone's already talking about is the new Avengers Infinity War trailer, which showed us a lot more than the first one.
Yeah.
Basically, I want to hear like what were your impressions of the movie before you watched the trailer, and now where are your like expectations at? I guess.
I'll go on this one. Marvel's great. I watch every Marvel movie, but I'm a broke college student, and Marvel movies aren't good enough to make me go pay for them in theaters. And then I saw the second Infinity War trailer, and I'm going opening night. It's the first one that I actually like am willing to be like I have to see this as soon as it comes out, because I'm not a huge Marvel fan. Like I love all their movies, but I'm not into the superhero thing. I don't, but just I don't know, just seeing every other Marvel movie that I've ever liked all come together and knowing that they're actually going to kill people. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I guarantee you Captain America is dead by the end of the movie.
Or Tony.
So Vision's dead. That's happening.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Okay.
That has to happen.
But he's not important.
No one cares
He's
about
not.
Vision.
Yeah.
But we're talking about is the thing between Captain America and Tony Stark. One of them is going to die in this movie, and then the second Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's where the other one's
Part
going to
two.
die.
It's not part 1 and part 2 anymore. So
it's not.
whatever they call the second one, or I guess Avengers 4, I think. Whichever one of them does not die in this one will die in the next one. I could honestly see them getting away with not killing either in this one and then killing both in the next one. But I think that Loki's going to die.
Of course, yeah.
And
which is kind of gonna be sad for me.
me too. He's honestly one of the most interesting characters in the whole MCU so far.
Like he's just fun.
Tom Hiddleston just has a really good presence on screen, especially in that role. I think that Loki's probably going to get killed off because I don't know, I feel like hopefully they'll complete his arc, because he's kind of had an arc, but really he's just sort of flipped back and forth in the 4 movies he's been in so far.
Yeah, if you think about it, that kind of like relates to his trickster god identity, whatever. But yeah, I'm curious to see if he's dying.
I think with Ragnarok there was kind of enough resolution, at least between him and Thor, that I could see it being the end of his run in this movie. Honestly, I would be more sad about his death than I would be about definitely than Captain America. Iron Man, I'd probably be kind of
I am ready for Captain America to go. I've never liked him. He's been my least favorite superhero. I wanted him to go immediately. He started all the shit in Civil War. I hated that. I was totally on Iron Man's side.
Okay, he didn't start it.
Oh, he
but
he stood up for what he believed.
Yeah.
Yeah, by starting shit.
In that whole debate, I'm kind of on Cap's side.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
I think
We're
I
learning
think
a lot
there-
about
I understand both points of view. This is
Yeah.
see, now we're back on the Civil War debate. I understand both points of view, but I agree with Cap's whole like, what if they send us somewhere we shouldn't go, or what if they won't let us go somewhere we need to be? Like,
Mhm.
I understand that a bit more, but I also understood where Tony was coming from because he's the one that created Ultron and
Yeah.
caused all the shit to go down. So, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In terms of this trailer, I think I'm probably as excited as I was already. Not that I'm like super excited for it, but it's the one I'm probably looking forward to the most, and it's the one I've looked forward to the most in a very long time. I went and saw Black Panther opening night, and I saw Guardians opening night. Like, I've gone to a lot of the openings for Marvel movies, and I'm definitely going to go to this one, but I have like the highest hopes for this one that I've had in a while. And
Yeah.
I feel like it would be very easy for them to disappoint me just by simply not going the lengths that I think they should. But yeah,
I would say this trailer definitely made me more hyped. Just because like the first trailer, like to me it was everything I expected it to be.
Mhm.
Where
Yeah.
like it was very bland, very like
What you expect.
Yeah, minimal exposition, but you kind of get what's going on. Whereas this one was more about like characters, I guess. Like you just saw a lot more, which I appreciated. It wasn't just. I thought the first one was mostly a teaser. There wasn't a whole lot going on, so I definitely am like gonna try to go on opening night if I can get tickets.
Yeah.
But as soon as I can, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
I
will
think.
say at the end of it, kind of made me mad. At the end of it, the second trailer, Doctor Strange says, "I'm Doctor Strange." And
Oh,
Spider-Man
yeah.
says, "Oh, we're using our made-up names."
Mhm.
But Doctor
That-
Strange's real name
Is Doctor
Doctor
Strange,
Strange.
because
Well,
he's a doctor.
that's the joke.
Did that go weird in my head?
Yes.
I don't deserve to watch this movie.
And also another thing too is like with the trailer, like for me when I watched it, it was like, oh wow, this is actually getting real this time.
Yes.
And it's interesting because like like I've seen Tony, Cap, and the original. Like we've all seen them interact with each other. We all know that how well they work together, but we don't see like other groups like Guardians of the like the Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
or Black Panther or like the people from Wakanda or
Seeing Star-Lord interact with Iron Man was just like
Yeah.
that was
It
interesting.
All right, so that's your plan. Now I'm gonna come up with a plan that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
That's stupid. So I'm gonna,
I
that
think
was great.
I think it'll definitely be interesting to sort of see how the leaders of each of these different small groups kind of come
Mhm.
together and act around each other. Especially just Guardians versus Avengers. They have never had any on-screen interaction other than
Mhm.
that really small clip at the end of Thor 3. Spoiler alert. One
Yeah.
of the end credit scenes, Thor meets the Guardians. Doesn't
Wait,
really say
really?
anything though. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
What?
I didn't
I
pay
haven't
attention.
seen that.
Wait.
It's one of the end credits of Thor 3 is that when they're on that big ship at the end, they run into the whatever Star-Lord ship's called.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought that was like Thanos's.
Yeah, I thought that was Thanos too.
Are you thinking about the first trailer?
I thought
I thought that was
it might have
Thanos.
been the first trailer. I thought there was an end credit scene where Thor meets the Guardian.
I thought that was.
I might
Thanos.
just be confusing it with the first trailer.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter.
Ignore me. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
But,
yeah,
yeah.
all in all, great trailer.
Mhm.
Everyone's hyped. It's the biggest crossover event in history, according to Marvel. I mean, is there a way it can be a bad movie? Like, if they just jumble up all the characters and there's...
Like-
I don't think it'll.
Like Scott said,
Mhm.
I feel like it's going to be below my expectations because of the build up of it.
Mm,
If they don't kill characters off, is basically the whole thing.
yeah.
If they don't do that, it's like what's
Yeah.
even the point?
Because at that point they're just playing it safe.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a bad movie, but I could definitely see it being a cheap, safe
Passable
movie.
movie.
A cheap, safe movie is that I think this is really their opportunity to take the gloves off and do something interesting.
If it does, like, at least meet those expectations of, like, some kind of emotional payoff at least, the box office numbers are going to be crazy. Because
Yeah.
people will
Yeah.
see it over and over and over again. That's what they need. Because everyone who is interested in it will already go see it. The difference is if they're going to see it 10 times. Which, like, Marvel fans will do if it's a good movie. Like they did with Guardians, like they did with Thor,
And
all
Black
that
Panther.
stuff. Black Panther, yeah. So, yeah, good trailer. The hype is real.
Mhm.
It's like less than a month away.
Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They moved it back.
I mean, yeah, and I mean at worst,
27th.
27th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at worst, at worst, it would be like a passable movie, like you said. But
I
at
don't-
least from there, yeah.
I think at worst it's like an 8 out of 10. You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like no matter what they do, as long as they do something crazy with it.
Mhm.
Like if it's even the worst crazy thing that they could do, like I have no clue what I'm talking about. But if it's like the worst crazy thing, that's something. Like if it's just the same Marvel thing where there's a hero and a bad guy and the hero wins, it's just boring, and you don't want to be bored for something.
Well, I definitely don't think the heroes are going to win in this one. I think this one is going to end with, spoiler from the comics, I guess. It's kind of obvious where it goes, but Thanos gets all the gems and he snaps his fingers and poof, half the universe is gone.
Mm-hmm. And they're gonna go back in time or different.
That's how it goes in the comics, and like when half the universe gets wiped, half of the characters die. So I think that's how this one's going to end, with him getting all the stones and snapping his fingers, and
That would be
something's gonna
great.
go
Did you hear about like I think somewhere in IMDb there was like this actor who was set to play the Silver Surfer, and like there's a rumor going around that he's gonna play a part in the film, the Silver Surfer.
Silver
would be
Surfer
insane.
definitely won't be in this one because Disney just bought the Fox stuff like a month ago.
I
And
think
Silver
they're
Surfer is
still
under Fox.
I think they're still working through it though. Like it's not a finalized deal. Last time I checked.
Well, yeah, but there's no way that Silver Surfer will be in this one since they filmed it like a year ago. I could potentially see him being in the next one in some way.
I would say like end credits, like or at the very end of the movie, because like remember
if the Fox deal hasn't even gone through yet, then they couldn't use him.
Well, like if they got Spider-Man, like they could have struck a deal.
We would have heard about it though.
Would we have though?
I think so.
I mean, we didn't hear about Spider-Man until that trailer dropped that he was in it.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah. Because they also mentioned him at the end of Winter Soldier, I think.
Did they?
Because
I
there's like
missed
it's at
that.
the very end they're talking about like, oh, there's other people out there. Oh, we have a kid who swings around, or like a kid who climbs on. They say something about a kid who climbs on walls.
Yeah.
And that was like around the time. I think that was the first time people were like, huh? And that's when we found out that Disney had made that deal with Sony.
Yeah.
I think that with something this big, like we would have heard murmurs that, oh, the Fantastic Four or the Silver Surfer, which I know Silver Surfer's kind of on his own thing, but I think he was bought with the rights back when Fox bought everything. But,
that would be huge though. Like if,
Silver Surfer would be really cool.
if they could keep it secret.
They
like
need to do a Silver Surfer, give him his own series, because that would be like a Doctor Who kind of space adventure stuff with Silver Surfer and a partner, because like that's what his stuff's all about, is traveling through space and solving mysteries on planets. I think that would be really cool.
All right, let's go to the next trailer. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Does anyone have anything to say about this trailer?
I might actually go see it. Not in theaters, but I'll wait till it comes out.
I'm
but,
gonna see it.
I was never. I mean, I've watched all the Harry Potter movies. After they came out, I was kind of done with the hype. Fantastic Beasts came out, didn't care about it. Watched the trailer, didn't care. But the trailer looks really good. It caught my attention enough that I'll actually watch it.
So you didn't see the first Fantastic
No,
Beasts?
and I'll definitely watch it if I'm going to see the second one first. But
I'll just say one thing about the first Fantastic Beasts. I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh wow.
Not because it's like a bad film, but it almost like offends me as someone who appreciates movies and likes the craft and all that artsy crap. It was just such a clear cash grab, and it was so soulless, and it was just J.K. Rowling, locked in a room for a couple days, just writing whatever comes to her head, and I feel like no one edited it or looked at it and said, this is kind of weird, or this is not very interesting. I was bored to tears in the theater. I could not get through it. I didn't care about any of the characters, any of the plot lines. I thought the CGI was horrible. It was not my thing.
Okay.
What did you think?
So, I was a massive Harry Potter fan growing up. I saw the first one in the theaters when I was 3. My mom and my cousins and my aunt and uncles and I went and saw it, I think, for Thanksgiving one year. And my mom was reading me those books when I was preschool. I was obsessed with Harry. I think I was Harry Potter for Halloween 3 or 4 times. Harry Potter was a really big part of my childhood, and I loved those movies. So I was really excited when Fantastic Beasts came out. I did not hate the movie. I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable. I definitely see where you're coming from in the whole some of the CGI is pretty kind of cruddy. It could have used some tightening up. I enjoyed going back to the Wizarding World, I think, more than I actually enjoyed the movie. But that being said, I will go see number 2. I think I think they're doing a little bit too much. It looks a little bit too flashy when, like the Harry Potter movies, they had the action and stuff, but it was never like, first and foremost, it was always about Harry and his friends, like solving a mystery together. It wasn't about like all the big action set pieces and stuff. And I think now with the Fantastic Beasts series, that's kind of what they're making it about instead. I liked the character of Newt. I thought he was likable. I liked the I don't remember his name, the New Yorker dude, the Muggle who accidentally like becomes their friend and their partner in the movie. I liked him. It's kind of weird they're just sort of erasing that whole arc that he had at the end of the movie by just having him in the second one again.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see Jude Law as Dumbledore.
That does interest me.
Yeah.
I will say, I really like the Harry Potter movies. I haven't read the book. I think I read the first book in like first grade. I really like the movies. I think they're really great, really fun. I could not relate to Eddie Redmayne. What's his character?
Newt Scamander.
Yeah, I could not relate to him. I thought he was just like a jerk most of the time. Like he clearly doesn't have good social skills. Like he just seemed like very self-centered. And like the New Yorker guy was like kind of fun, comic relief. Like I guess I was most invested in him. But the other like characters and actors felt so wooden and just kind of.
Also disappointed that Colin Firth was actually just Johnny Depp in disguise the whole time. Spoiler alert for a 2-year-old movie. I think that Colin Firth would have been better for Grindelwald than Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
but
I think Johnny Depp is gonna walk through that.
I think it's just gonna be Jack Sparrow or Jack Sparrow version 6.0 or however many times he's played that guy in different shapes.
Yeah, 6.
All right, so let's go to one more trailer, or maybe 2. We're going to talk about Sorry to Bother You, which if you haven't seen, I would definitely recommend watching that trailer. Go to a different window, watch it right now, because it is, like, to me, really unique and fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes.
The direction, the acting, the style.
The
premise.
I had no clue where it was going the whole time. Throughout the entire trailer, something new happened every second.
Yeah. So just a brief rundown. It's about this like guy who seems like he's kind of strapped for money. He takes this like telemarketing job, and like he's African American, and like at this telemarketing job he has to have like this white voice that he can like use to sell these people on whatever product they're selling, and like he's really good at doing that white voice, so it gets him all the way up to the top. And like this telemarketing company is apparently doing some crazy stuff, selling crazy stuff, and like he gets into this weird, I don't know what you call it, like crime world telemarketing.
Yeah, it's
I have no idea what goes on in that. Like what? That's one thing I like about this trailer a lot, is it shows you a lot of stuff without telling you much about the movie. And I'm really interested because it's a very unique idea, and
it's like one of the most original ideas I've heard in a long time.
Like we don't get many of those nowadays.
Remakes, which is another trailer we're talking about.
The Grinch.
2 more trailers we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of them.
So Sorry to Bother You. Like, if you haven't seen this trailer, go watch it. I'm gonna try to like see this in the theaters if it's
Same.
If
it's
it
just
comes
so
out
interesting.
It is, and it's also kind of relatable in a way, because I know my family, or people in my family, they do not have the best like they still have like Asian accents or Vietnamese accents, and so a lot of times some jobs they're when it deals with like interacting with other people, or like whether it's customers or people on the phone, they prefer more like English speak, or like more, I guess in a way, white sounding voices, just like in the trailer. And so it has some sort of relatability to me, and this is like from people in my family who came over from Vietnam, and like not like me, who is a little bit more white sounding because I was born and raised here. So
it sounds like they're definitely gonna like be really smart about kind of the satire and social satire. It just seems like a really smart, really fun movie that I can't wait to go see.
And it's got Terry Crews in it.
Yeah, it's got
Terry Crews, Tessa Thompson from Thor.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Omari Hardwick, Armie Hammer, Danny Glover as well. The old guy, he was the main character was talking. That was Danny Glover, and like
I'm too old for this shit.
From
and then like
Lethal Weapon.
yeah, and then the white voice actors. One of them is Patton Oswalt, Steve Buscemi, and I have to look this-
David Cross.
Yeah.
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And the main actor was in Get Out. He was the guy that like
The first brainwash guy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was the one that was screaming at him at the luncheon.
The one who said
whatever.
get out.
Yeah. And like he seems great in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really seems like a great movie. So please go find that trailer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hopefully, if it turns out to be good, go see it in the theaters because support movies you like.
I'm more excited about that trailer than any of the ones talking about today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen Yeun.
More than
Definitely.
Infinity War.
Yeah, Stephen Yeun is gonna be.
It came out of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
I saw
I
it.
had never heard of it.
I saw it on Twitter and I sent it to you guys. I was like, okay, you have to watch this trailer.
Yeah.
It's so good. So there's two other trailers. We have The Grinch,
Ugh.
which
Nope,
is
I didn't even watch it. I don't
Like,
even-
We don't
No.
need to talk about it.
Okay,
I couldn't
so-
sit through 30 seconds. Of
We
the
have
trailer.
Jim Carrey as the Grinch. That's all we need.
Okay, well, see the thing. Okay, so
the
my thing.
original Grinch. What are
Oh
you
yeah, the
talking
original
about?
cartoon
the
too.
original cartoon.
That's right.
It's 30 minutes. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be
I didn't
a
even
2 hour.
I didn't want the original remake. The
Yeah, with
original
Jim
is
Carrey?
so good. It's a classic, and
Yeah.
my family watches it every Christmas. And it's
Yes.
like it's all you need for the Grinch. It should have ended there.
Didn't they do that to the Lorax a few years ago too?
Oh, that
Yeah.
was garbage. That was one of the
Like
worst
the
movies
original
I've ever
Lorax
seen.
cartoon is also really good. It's
Mhm.
also only 30 minutes, and that's all it needs to be.
I will
Yeah.
say that the Horton Hears a Who movie that came out was not
I
bad. That was
I
good.
enjoyed it as a kid. I
Mhm.
remember going like long car rides. I would watch that all
Well, I
over and
remember
over.
watching it like a year or two ago. Like it was on TV, and I was just like, nothing else is on, and I threw it on. And it was like kind of funny. It had like Steve Carell, Jim Carrey,
yeah.
but like, and this one they have Benedict Cumberbatch as the lead
Which is
actor.
weird. to be
As the
honest.
Grinch?
Yes,
I didn't
as the
even realize
Grinch.
that.
No,
Yeah.
it's really weird. And so my thing is like, okay, it's like, okay, well, it's by the same people who made Despicable Me, and like I was like, but then like looking at the animation itself is not bad, to be honest, to me at least.
It's-
And like for like I don't really care. Like it's okay. It's okay that to me that like they're not trying to be like the Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm cool with that, and it's not ever gonna be the at the same level. But like 30 seconds when they start playing Happy by Pharrell, that's like okay.
Yeah.
this is gonna be
Oh,
complete crap.
see, that's what it is. It's like my aunt, for example. My
Mhm.
aunt loves the song Happy, and she has 2 little kids who love the song Happy
Mhm.
because they buy into that stuff.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with this movie. It's directed for those people that buy into this, and they go to Target and they buy the graphic tees from Target, and they say, "Oh, this is
corporate bullshit,
this is
Oh my
hip."
God.
Like
It-
that's
it
the type
is-
of movie it is.
it's
It's
a
the
product
Target
that they're
graphic
selling.
brand.
Yes, and
of
it's
graphic tee.
and it tries
As
to
if,
shove it
as
down
if the
your throat.
Avengers isn't a product that they're
Yeah,
selling.
but at least they're
At
doing
least-
it well though.
Yeah,
They're
at
actually
least
doing
it's a
it well.
product that I want to buy.
Yeah.
But we are not the intended audience,
That's
obviously.
Yeah.
also true.
That
However, as someone who was once a little kid and who
Yes.
had the good Grinch movies growing up,
I-
this offends me, and it, I
A
feel
lot.
sad for all the little kids that have to grow up
Yeah.
with this movie.
And also, like-
our childhood.
yeah, and then also when the Grinch walks into a supermarket, it's just like, well, that was
I did
stupid.
chuckle at that.
That was
when you
stupid.
I didn't even
said-
make it that far into the trailer.
No,
I
so
didn't see it.
basically the Grinch just walks into a supermarket and just being like a complete dick and just like really stupid. And it's like, first of all, like if you've watched like the original cartoon Grinch and the Jim Carrey Grinch, like you know that people are just like absolutely terrified of him, and like he's not even like supposed to be like walking around like with like the people of Whoville, but like the fact that he just casually walks in and people are just like, oh hey, what's up, and it's like what is going on? What are you doing with this?
It seems like he's basically just going to be Gru from Despicable Me.
Yeah,
And,
that's
like,
probably
the
it's a
character.
Gru
Yeah.
2.0. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
So yeah, I don't think any of us are really excited for that.
Yeah, let's-
We'll go to the last trailer, Christopher Robin, which was a very short teaser trailer. Why do people like keep wanting these like live action remakes of
Like
we
Mary
had
Poppins Return.
Mary Poppins, we had Sleeping Beauty, we had Beauty and the Beast, like
Jungle Book.
Well, supposedly Jungle Book was really good.
I never saw it.
Jungle Book was pretty good.
It was alright.
Yeah. But like it just looks so cookie cutter and bland.
I don't even get so I was completely wrong about what this movie was. I thought it was like like a Saving Mr. Banks kind of thing. That other Disney movie that came out a few years ago, where it was about
That was a great movie.
Walt Disney talking
it
to the
was
lady
very
who wrote Mary Poppins, trying to get the movie made. I thought this was going to be like about the guy who wrote the books, like the guy whose son, like Christopher Robin's dad in real life. I thought this was what it was about. I didn't realize it was about Obi-Wan playing Christopher Robin all grown up, and then
Yeah.
Pooh shows back up and like, ugh.
Can we talk about Pooh real quick?
Yeah.
He looks like a monster.
He doesn't look like Pooh.
Yeah.
He look and built like an Ewok, and
Yeah.
like it's interesting that. And it's interesting that Obi-Wan is Christopher Robin.
It's actually the new Star Wars.
I know, right?
They
I'm
tried to
glad
make him-
that they got the voice right.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim Cummings,
Yeah.
Cummings, who's okay, so, me and my little brother when I was a kid, I grew up watching Winnie the Pooh, the original 1960s one with the all the older voice actors. I made my little brother when he was like around the same 4 or 5. We started watching the same things, and like there were some other newer Winnie the Pooh movies that came afterwards that we both watched. So I have a personal connection to it, and like I thought it was pretty interesting when the trailer came out. I was like, oh well, this is what happens after Christopher Robin grows up and becomes an adult and has to deal with all the BS that comes with life, and then Pooh shows up, and let's just see what happens. And I don't really know. A part of me, I guess, is like the part of me where it's like really nostalgic, and it's like, oh, I love Winnie the Pooh so much. It's like so many personal memories, and I kind of want to go watch it to see where it goes.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's
Yeah.
what they're playing off of.
Oh, yeah,
They're playing off the
nostalgia.
nostalgia.
That's literally.
I feel like they've done enough of that. And at this point, who is their target audience? I think it's the younger generation that wants to feel like it's nostalgia to them, even though they didn't grow up on it.
I think their target audience is like generally older people, children, who go to the movies every weekend, and like they're just looking for something to pass the time.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that like a really a sidebar, but it relates to this. I was reading about how they're gonna revive Blue's Clues, and so one of the things. Okay, so like some Nickelodeon person was saying like, oh well, this is like they admit it's like okay, well this is all for like the older people, but then with the older people who grew up on Blue's Clues, it's an opportunity for like to show their kids that like what they saw is like
Old
like
Blue's Clues still exists though. Like I could if I had a kid in 9 months from now, I could still show them.
well you
Yeah.
can say
Blue's
you
Clues.
can say the
I'm
same.
going to show my kids the original Grinch,
Yeah.
not this 2018
Yeah, you
bullshit.
could say the
Yeah.
same thing, but it's like it's an introduction to a newer audience, like a newer generation of kids, while appeasing to like the older audiences who grew up on it. So I feel like this is what
The thing is, your kids like in this new age of technology, like they're not going to want to watch The Grinch from whenever it was, like 1965. Like they're
No,
not.
my kids are gonna have some damn culture.
Yeah, they're going to be cultured.
We all say that, but I think it's going to be easier for us to just be like to just get them to be happy. Like you just want your kid to be happy.
Yeah,
honestly.
I was with that with my little brother. So like with my we both watch Pokemon. Like I grew up on Pokemon, and I'm trying to make him grow up on Pokemon, which I know I shouldn't like impose my own childhood onto him, and like I should let him enjoy whatever he enjoys. But at the same time,
You're the brother, not the parent. You can do
that's
whatever you want.
true. And like, but at the same but at this, like, I know on the one hand, it's like I shouldn't impose my childhood on him and let him enjoy what he enjoys. But at the same time, it's like
What little boy doesn't enjoy Pokemon though?
that's
I know. Yeah.
Pokemon.
But at the same time, it's like this is like the stuff I watch. To me personally, is I would arguably say better quality in terms of
Just like good filmmaking. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so I kind of want him to introduce. I wanted to introduce that to him, so that way when he watches something like like Christopher Robin or whatever remake, whatever new remake or revival it is. I hope that he doesn't see that show, which is in reality like trash. I hope he doesn't see that and think that's like the golden standard.
Yeah.
The problem with us being the age we are is we were born during like this Disney Renaissance where we were getting like some of the best animated movies Disney's ever made.
Tarzan, Aladdin,
Beauty and the Beast,
Yes.
Little Mermaid, Lion King.
And we still had those classics.
Like
to
we
go
still
back
had
to.
all the old
Mhm.
classics, and now like 20 years later, Disney is not making. I mean, they still make new movies like Coco, and like they're putting out like at least one new
Well, they
thing a
have
year.
Frozen and
Frozen.
But they are putting out, you know, one Star Wars movie every year and 3 Marvel movies every year and at least 1 or 2 of those remakes every year. Like, they're just going back because, I don't know, they're going for the easy money. But I just...
Yeah.
And our kids are going to be saying the same thing, though. Our kids are going to be like, wow, I can't believe they're making this Coco remake live action.
It's all nostalgia.
It's all cyclical.
It's a cycle,
Disney's just doing all this stuff to make easy money, but they don't need easy money. They're Disney.
They literally just bought out 21st Century Fox, which is why like tens of thousands of people lose their jobs.
Yeah. Well, okay, so think about it as an executive. Like, you say, do I make this thing that I know can make a return, or do I risk it?
I definitely get it from the business side, but the artistic integrity side of me is like,
usually like, whenever you take a risk, don't you have a bigger payoff than if you play it safe and then you get somewhat of a lesser payoff?
Not always. It could totally crash.
I know, but like the fact that you get a way bigger payoff, like for example,
Disney is not gonna even if they have a movie that bombs though, they'll still be fine. Like
exactly.
They're the biggest company possibly.
I want to talk
in entertainment, but yeah.
I want to talk real quick about Sony and like Paramount. They recently did Annihilation, which if you haven't seen, it's my favorite movie of the year so far. I've seen it twice. And I loved it so much, I bought the trilogy of books that it's based on.
I bought the first book, and I started it, but I haven't gotten very far.
I've heard it deviates really, really strays away from it.
Okay.
It's not the same.
And that was amazing. It was super original, super cool. It's based off a book, but, like, it's still a risk that they took, and it didn't make money. Like, I thought it was fantastic. I thought everyone should see it. It's kind of a polarizing movie. People, like, are iffy on the end because it's very open-ended, but, like... I would much rather have that than, the 5th Marvel movie in a year.
I really like Alex Garland, though, and I think people probably thought the same thing about Ex Machina, is you either like the ending or you don't.
The thing about Ex Machina, though, was that it was a cheaper budget and it made its money back.
It's true.
Whereas this is like a $40 million movie.
Ex Machina, Well, that's what we were just talking about. Sorry to bother you. I'm more excited about than Infinity War, or whatever it is. Like, it's an original idea, something totally out of the blue that, like, I've never heard of. And
it doesn't play off with nostalgia either.
Yeah, and it's just something totally new.
It also ties into, like, something that's current. Like, for example, going back to what I said earlier about, like, how some of my family members are, like, have really strong Vietnamese accents, and I have the privilege of growing up here speaking English and having a more wider sounding voice. It's a lot more relatable. It plays into like current social issues that I definitely can relate to, at least. So it is more interesting to me than Infinity War.
The problem with those, we're like movie guys, quote unquote. So we get excited about like this kind of stuff, but the general movie going public doesn't go see movies anymore. It's too expensive. The cost is through the roof. So if they're gonna go see a movie, it's gonna be Avengers. It's gonna be Star Wars. It's gonna be Disney stuff.
I would consider myself one of those people, the general moviegoers, rather than like you guys were like you're.
Well, even you have like a better knowledge about movies than I would say like 90% of Americans.
Well, I sometimes it definitely I guess I just hanging out with like you guys as well as like people like just my other friends who are just general moviegoers. It kind of like I'm just in the middle of just like listening to both sides where it's like okay, well, I do want to watch something that's really entertaining that me and my friends could like really enjoy, talk about, and like see over and over again, something like Avengers Infinity War. But at the same time, it's like I want to watch something that is worthwhile that I can watch by myself or like other people, but it's more because of the movie is so good and it's very deep and meaningful. And like I actually have this whole list of movies that I really want to watch, some of which is like some older Japanese movies, Japanese samurai movies, some of it like Akira Kurosawa stuff. Like I really, really, really want to watch some of those types of movies.
But again, like the general public is not like that.
That's
like they just go.
Yeah, you told like a general movie-going person, hey, we're gonna go sit down and watch this 3-hour-long movie. It's called Seven Samurai. It's black and white. It's entirely Japanese. Most people are gonna go, hell no, and they like leave.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell someone to watch a ghost story and you say, hey, there's an 8-minute pie eating scene with just 2 shots that are still the whole time.
Well, then
no one likes that scene but you.
Well, also, it's also because I spend my time watching
Sorry, someone just spoiled it. Okay, so I'm gonna say
I'm scared.
I'm gonna say two more things and then we'll move on because we've been talking about this for a while. So one thing about Annihilation that I really respect is that internationally it's being released on Netflix, which will get it to a much wider audience. And I think like for Annihilation is definitely a movie you want to see in the theater because it's a spectacle, I would call it. But it's still good that it's getting that easy access to a lot of people. And another thing is Christopher Nolan. I always kind of rely on him to have something new, something original. He's done Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, yeah. And even like the Batman movies are different from other superhero
absolutely movies. Amazing.
Yeah. So there's basically remakes are bad, but
they just have to
there's good people out there.
But Christopher Nolan is good.
Yeah.
That's the whole entire point.
For remakes, it has to be really, really, really good though.
Sorry guys, I just need something from the fridge.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're good. So anyways, we solved the problem of remakes and everything like that.
There we go.
Okay, so next, do you guys want to talk about Pacific Rim 2
Yes.
or Tomb Raider?
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, screw Tomb Raider. That's a very specific target audience.
Yeah.
They're the only people that are really going to enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
As well as a couple kids that are like, oh, cool action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pacific Rim 2 is coming out. The first one did not do well financially, and
I enjoyed it though.
and lots of people liked it. I think it made its money back, but it just barely.
I thought it made a lot of money in China and stuff. I
heard it didn't even.
Big robots fighting. That's a big that makes a lot of money in China.
Well, first of all, it's a type of movie where it's like they're trying to appeal to mass audiences, so they're gonna try to do whatever way possible, certain ways that I could go into in the future where I.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I think like even overseas it didn't hit their targets like they wanted it to. Like I think it made its money back, but not enough that it was a hit.
Yeah, sell out to enough Chinese actors.
So I guess the question is what I want to ask. The question that I want to ask is like, is this gonna hit better than the first one?
No.
Because like the trailers I've seen and the people that I talk to, like my family, my friends, like I haven't met anyone besides like you that is interested in seeing the second one.
You are?
Oh yeah. I love Pacific Rim. Are you kidding me?
No, I love it too. I love it too, but
the thing is, people went into that movie expecting too damn much. I went into that movie excited to see some robots fight some big ass monsters.
Same.
You know what I saw? Some robots fight some big ass monsters, and it was great. I did not expect that to be high art or anything like that. I went in wanting to watch some cool shit happen, and cool shit happened, and I loved it.
Okay,
that's how I felt about, was it 2014, the Godzilla movie that came out?
Yes.
That's exactly how I felt about it.
Yes.
I loved it.
I love
I
Godzilla.
You see Godzilla open up what the guy's
and pull his head off.
and pull his head off, blowing lasers into his mouth. That's all I wanted.
I still watch
got that, and I got what I paid for, and I was so happy about it.
See, I didn't get my price of admission though for Pacific Rim. Like
Really?
I liked the robots fighting were cool, the CGI was cool, but it just like I just wasn't invested because like there wasn't those cool characters.
The characters were bad except for Idris Elba because he's
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. He's
Yes.
awesome. But I think that he was the only like interesting character. I thought pretty much any scene where it was just people talking was pretty bad. But I thought that
of course,
like
that's with any monster
of the movie.
Yeah, but I said, I went in. My expectations weren't very high, and I literally just went in thinking I just want to see these cool fight scenes, and I got the cool fight scenes, and I was totally down with it, and that's why I'm down for number 2. I don't expect much from it. I just want to see.
Yeah, there are more robots.
More robots.
Fighting more
and a
bigger
robot
monsters.
And a robot monster hybrid too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
And so for my thing is like I enjoyed Pacific Rim. I absolutely am like agree with what you're saying. Like I absolutely loved it because it's like just monsters and fighting and but giant robots. Like I remember like when I was like 10 or 11, like I had a 105-degree fever, but I still went to go over to my friend's birthday party, sleepover, and watch Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, like the 1960s one where it's like a guy in a rubber suit. And
I did watch the original, and I love the original.
Yes,
Godzilla.
and like that's what got me.
Side note, y'all hear he died a few months ago?
Yes,
Yeah,
that was so sad.
The
That
guy
was so
who was
sad.
the original
In-
Godzilla in the
in
rubber
suit,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah, he died.
That was so
I
sad.
don't remember if it was 2018 or last year, but
I think it was
he
last
died.
year. But yeah, anyway, so like that movie, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, really got me into any of those types of things. That's why I love the 2014 Godzilla.
Mhm.
That's why I also enjoy Pacific Rim, because like when I was a kid, we all we did was we wanted to watch the Godzilla and Mechagodzilla fight.
It's like Power Rangers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I still love Power Rangers just because of like the cheesiness, but it's also because like the action scenes as well. And with Pacific Rim 2, I will like I could see myself enjoying the monster scene, like the fighting scenes and action scenes, but I just feel like to me it's just gonna be like a rehash of like the original Pacific
Mhm.
Rim.
I forgot the Charlie Day bits in
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not happy about that.
what?
Charlie Day in Pacific Rim.
He's in it. He's in the first one.
He's in the first one.
Yeah.
Yes!
I didn't know that.
Did
I
you
really
like
just
him in the
didn't
first one?
watch
I thought his was the most interesting of the human
It was-
plots.
it was interesting.
him trying to like go. He went and talked to
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. Like I thought that was the most interesting. Like
Mhm.
I thought he was other than Idris, he was like one of the I forgot their plot line. I thought he had an interesting plot line, and I love Charlie. Like,
I
Always
know
Sunny in
he's the first
Philadelphia
one.
is.
He was.
I love Always Sunny in
Yeah.
Philadelphia. But
So-
he plays one of the scientist researchers whose like job it is to study the monsters.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like a hipster scientist who's really into it. So he's got like a full arm sleeve tattoo of like the different one of the plot points is he's got like a tattoo of the monster that killed the main character's brother like at the beginning of the movie.
Mm.
So he meets him. He's like, oh yeah, I got this one. This one was so cool. Yada yada yada. And the dude's like, oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
He's like,
Wait,
Yeah.
can we talk about Charlie Hunnam real quick? Because he's the least charismatic actor I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He is not a leading man at
He's
all.
not. Yeah, I think that with John Boyega as a leading man in this one will
Uh-huh.
help out number 2.
He actually has a
because
personality.
He's got a personality, and he's also Star Wars, so people might see it because of that.
Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam, I think like the only thing I really enjoyed seeing him in was that new King Arthur movie, which I thought was fun. It was not good. It was fun.
Well, it's Guy Ritchie. I like Guy
Yeah,
Ritchie.
it was. I enjoy. I heard a lot of people did not like it. I thought it was cool. But again, I wasn't expecting just like a fun popcorn movie.
Mhm.
Like,
So, sorry.
I said everything I had to say.
So for me, the gold standard of like fun popcorn movie and like good story, good characters is Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park.
Mm.
You get your fill of a T-Rex, tearing up velociraptors, and you also get these fun characters that are fun to watch, super interesting, and like going off onto Jurassic World. Yeah, I hated that movie because it was one thing I want to say about the CGI. I thought it looked worse than it was in 1993 to me.
Well, they
wor-
did also
worse
build a
than-
giant robot T-Rex in 1993
yeah,
too. So
yeah, like that was awesome.
I
Like,
thought
that's
they
all I
incorporated both for Jurassic World. They incorporated
no.
There was no-
partly animatronic, partly CGI.
I don't think there was any practical effects in
Really?
that movie.
Oh man, I remember seeing something like that, but I don't know.
But yeah, like Jurassic World was just such a heartbreak because I love Jurassic Park, and then it was just so shallow. Like I didn't care about any of the characters, and that made me not care about
Even
the dinosaurs.
Even Chris Pratt was uninteresting. Like,
Yeah, like
how do you make Chris Pratt
Yeah.
uninteresting?
which
No,
yeah.
I guess from a general movie audience standpoint, it just has like the dinosaurs and the nostalgia, and that was enough to
Yeah.
run with it. And
Well,
for
it
me
made-
personally, I know I can't hold it to the same standards as Jurassic Park because first of all, no one can match the cast, and even if they bring Jeff Goldblum back for the sequel, it's
They
not
did.
gonna be
It's gonna be
no.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I know they're gonna play off of nostalgia, but at the same time, it has enough to where it's like, oh, dinosaurs eating other dinosaurs, and I think for me, I only cared about 3 or 4 characters in there. Other than that, that's it. I really did not. I could care less about the 2 kids. Even though yes, they were brothers, and I could relate to that, I could care less about both of them.
They're both jerks.
I wish they were eaten. I wish something
Yeah.
happened to them. That's how much I didn't like it.
So there's a common phrase passed around these days called turning your brain off in a movie, which I'm totally down for.
Yeah.
There are plenty of movies where I turn my brain off and I just enjoy myself. But the thing with Jurassic World and what I think is going to be with what I had with the first Pacific Rim is just even when you turn your brain off, there's nothing keeping me going to the next scene.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim, it had some cool set design, some cool art direction, but that was not enough to keep me going to the next scene, and I was bored out of my mind. And then the same thing with Jurassic World. Like, there was cool dinosaurs, kind of, but I just like could not get into it because
Yeah, and for me, I would say like, being that I'm hearing from both standpoints, the general movie audience and people who are really into movies and really want to make good films and good videos. I think just for me, I adopt not necessarily just shut my brain off. I'm more of like try to keep an open mind and like try to think as like, for example, for like Jurassic World, it's like, oh, I know it's never going to be at the same level as Jurassic Park, and I know they're gonna try to appeal it to like a bigger audience, and like they're just gonna crank up the CGI, they're crank up the cheesiness. So I come in there with like certain perceptions, but when I try my best to like say, okay, well, set all of that aside, let's see if I actually enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So with movies like that, there needs to be at least one thing to keep me going. And so like one that I always go back to is The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which came out like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you haven't seen it, is actually pretty good. It's really like stylized. It's Guy Ritchie who did like Sherlock Holmes and
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer. That's what kept me going. Their chemistry, they were both great. I could watch them in any movie ever. And so like, I just need Pacific Rim to have that for me to keep me.
I doubt that's gonna be the case though.
Yeah. Do you
If
think
it's
so?
got if it's got cool fights, I'm in.
I mean,
That's all I wanted out of that.
But that's
movie
not
in
going
the
to be the
first
full 2
Yeah.
hours of the movie.
place. I know,
Exactly.
but like that's what I'm gonna go see it for.
Mhm.
Like I can get through the I know I mean this one it might be better this time. I don't know who's directing it or who wrote it, but
Not Guillermo del Toro.
yeah, I knew it wasn't Del Toro. But yeah, I'm not going into that movie to see it. I know I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna go see this one in theaters. Probably.
I mean, yeah.
But like when I watch this one, I know what I'm in for. I'll sit through the other stuff just so I can see the cool stuff.
I'll probably watch it too, but I'll just watch it from a Fire Stick where I can just skip the human scenes and go directly to the fighting. So
Yeah.
that's probably gonna be for me.
It's gonna be on when the movie clips on YouTube comes out.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yes,
there.
yes.
I'm all in for
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim too.
But not enough
or
to
sorry,
see in the
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
but-
also gonna make a TV show out of it too. Like there is
Yeah.
no like I remember reading up on it. So like after the first Pacific Rim came out, there's plans of like having the sequel done and also having like a spin-off TV show. I don't know which channel specifically. I want to say Nickelodeon, but I don't want
Wait,
to.
is it going to be a kids show?
I think so. Yes.
Is it animated?
Yes, it is
Okay.
going to be animated. It's
That
not like a
actually
live
would be
action, and like I can definitely see like see through and like okay, they're just trying to build another franchise they can milk money off of. To be honest, I mean like again, enjoyable.
I'm sure that this
Yeah.
movie will how successful this movie is will make or break that TV show though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I think it's.
I don't think it's going to do very well.
It will dethrone Black Panther for sure. Black Panther has been number one at the box office for 5
Since it
weeks
came
now.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't know. It depends on how good it is. Like, even though, like, yes, people are going to be lining up to see monsters fight. If at the end of the day, if it's a mediocre movie, people aren't going to watch it again. Well, Black Panther is, to me, an amazing film that I'm going to watch a third time later this weekend.
But the thing is, people have already seen it so many times. Like, it's been 5 weeks.
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely. I
Also
don't
watch
know
it.
if Pacific. I don't know though. I don't know if Pacific Rim is gonna be able to do well
Yeah.
enough to dethrone it. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know, like, there's going to be a movie that's going to eventually dethrone it. And, like, it's only a matter of time. But Pacific Rim is not going to be
I
that
don't
movie,
know
to
if
be
it's gonna-
honest.
Yeah.
Well, the early reports that the early reviews, it's kind of in line with the first one.
Of course.
Critically, so like,
Of course.
I think it'll. Black Panther made like 23 million this weekend. I think it'll definitely be able to get at that or above it. Okay, so we have a little bit of time left. So, do you guys want to talk about Tomb Raider or do you want to talk about Indiana Jones?
Well,
Why are they doing Indiana Jones again?
we can do the Tomb Raider discussion if we wrap the whole video game thing up in it as well. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's what.
Yeah.
So Tomb Raider, another video game movie that was meh for most people, even bad.
They had an Asian.
Is it out already?
Yeah, it's already out, and like
It came out last week.
it's
yeah.
like it's like there's an
I didn't
actual.
know that.
like there's an actual Asian male love interest, which I thought it was like really dope that they decided to do that, because in media that's not often, like in movies or
Yeah.
TV shows, the fact that I see like an Asian male love interest, or like somebody who's not like freaking Jackie Chan or like a wannabe Jet Li. I think that's really dope. But it kind of makes me sad. Like it's like hearing about Tomb Raider reviews and like hearing about like the box office performance. It's like, oh man, that's kind of sad. Just because like, I mean, I kind of had high hopes for it, just because watching the trailers, it's like, oh, this might be good, and it might be in the same vein as like the recent Tomb Raider video games that came out. But I just feel like this movie was just a huge advertisement for this upcoming Lara Croft game.
So, Zach, you don't play video games.
Not really.
Me neither.
Scott, do you play video games?
Oh yes,
You don't play video games.
Not really.
Okay, I play video games a lot.
I've been a gamer my whole life.
Yeah.
I used to be, but
I've been a Tomb Raider fan for a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with the reboot. I thought the reboot
Oh yeah,
was
and
really
this
good.
was I liked the reboot a lot, and I was kind of excited. And it was a pretty cinematic game. It had a pretty good story that I felt could have translated well to a movie. Apparently, they didn't do it too well.
Yeah. I thought so. The problem with video games movies seems to be that like they just can't get a good writer. Like
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I've seen basically.
They don't put they don't think it's worth the time.
Blood Rain.
Yeah. So like the question I want to ask is like, do we need a video game movie? Like, don't video games stand on their own, and like there's so much more than just like
It's
a story?
already a story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like-
like what keeps me interested in games is that I can interact with them and like
Mm-hmm.
craft my own story basically. Like some of my favorite games don't have much of a story. Like Mario, you save the princess. That's it.
Oh, but there is this interesting thing. So, like, I was reading up on The Last of Us, and I actually, so this was like back at, like a couple years ago when The Last of Us first came out. I was one of those many kids who were like watching these people play through video games. One of which was The Last of Us, and that I feel like is like an would be like an Oscar worthy film that no one can ever make.
The problem
just
with-
because it's like the story in the video game is so good. Like theoretically, if it were to be translated into a movie, it would be an Oscar nominated movie with all the awards. But in reality, that's never going to happen because no one can. Yeah.
The problem with trying to adapt a video game into a movie is you're taking a 15 to 60 hour experience and condensing it into 1.5 or 2 hours. Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. I've played through that game. I rarely like play through a game more than one time, and I've played through Last of Us like 3 times. I think that out of a lot of video games, that one has potential to be adapted well to a movie. It's not gonna work because they're gonna fuck it up. I think. Oh, my bad. If it's not gonna work, I don't know. There's something about that game, like just actually like play, like, because it's not just cutscenes where the story is told. You know, there's like in the action, and like you grow, like you explore that relationship between Joel and Ellie through like playing as Joel through the game. Like you know, there's a lot more in that 16 hours that happens than just like a cutscene every now and then. I think that there's potential there. I think they'll mess it up.
Supposedly that's been like trying to get through to a movie.
Yeah,
for a long
that's
time.
that's
Like,
what I've been reading.
since 2013 when it came out. There's
Yeah.
a long time they were talking about having Maisie Williams play Ellie from Game of Thrones, who plays Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. I don't think
but
that.
No.
So-
I think she should be pretty good at it. I think it's a little too similar to Arya, and
So-
that'd be tight casting her. But
With The Last of Us, I liked the game. I thought it was good. But when I was playing it, it wasn't so much a game as it was just like the story.
a playable movie, yeah.
Yeah.
You play the action
playable
parts of the
movie.
story.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so which, by the way, Last of Us true trailers look amazing. Like, I don't know if you've
Yes,
seen them, but
I've
they're
seen it.
intense. And so like, I would much rather have seen that be like an HBO miniseries as opposed to
Yeah.
See, that's what I was about to say. If it was like, let's just say Netflix or HBO picked that up and they made it into a series, I can definitely see it winning not only all the awards, but like win all the praise, and like I can see it being really, really, really good. But I feel like going back to what you said earlier about having a 15-hour experience condensed into 2 hours and trying to make sure that people are still interested in it, that's going to be not extremely difficult. And it's like there's a lot of things that will be.
I think another problem is that like a lot of people who greenlight these movies like haven't played these games. And
That's
don't know
true.
What like how video games work, so they just say, no, you got to do this.
It's just like, oh well, I heard this game was popping, so it's like it could seem like a really good opportunity to make a lot of cash and bank off of people's interest in something outside of movies.
Yeah. So just to wrap it up here, Scott, since you're the gamer, like me and you are gamers, what do you think can make a good video game movie if it's possible?
Let the writer be somebody who is also a gamer, who is familiar with the game they are adapting, and who cares.
Yeah.
And that is how you will get a good video game movie.
Yeah.
Is you get somebody who actually, like, you know, even if the studio is like, oh yeah, get that game, make me, like, let the writer, you know, have some vested interest, or at least care about telling a good story based on that.
And like going off of what you said, like I feel like that's just how like any comic book movie or just any movie where it's ties to a different form of media, like the person who's directing it has to actually know what it is and like actually is a fan of it. For example, Ryan Coogler, he grew up reading Black Panther comics, and like the cast, they grew up reading Black Panther comics as well, so like they're fans of it, and so they know where to go in terms of like the direction of the movie, and they can pull it off and they can actually make it a really good movie because they've actually read it. And like going off of what you said, like I feel like not like actually play the game and know what's going on and all the things that's like incorporated into it, and from there you might actually have a good video game movie, but you actually have to play the game and enjoy it and be a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, just like be passionate about it and make sure everyone else is passionate
Because
about
people can see through, like, oh, this is just like a cash grab and they're just going to bank off of people's enjoyability of some other thing. And they can see through that. But, like, we can also see that, okay, well, this person really enjoys the game and not doing it because other people enjoy it.
All right, so we're at an hour, so that's going to do it. So thank you if you've made it this far for listening. I think Sally is the only person who's listened to the entire podcast.
Thanks, Sally.
Yeah.
Oh, did you listen to the whole thing?
I did listen to the whole thing.
Awesome.
The one I wasn't on, I listened to the whole thing.
I listened to the first 10 minutes of a couple of them.
Yeah,
so I need to listen through the whole thing, too.
We need to give Sally a shout out at the beginning then, so she doesn't have to sit there.
Oh, we should
No,
do
Not
some,
Sally.
we need that,
Here's your
that watch
achievement.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do some, like, we should have, like, some sort of ad-lib where, like, I don't know.
We need to get sponsors at the end so people will.
Yeah.
Sponsored by...
So yeah, thank you for listening. I'll put all our social medias in the description, and please come back next week for more talk about movies, and tell your friends if they like movies too.
Share this.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.